So, you gotta bear with me a little bit tonight, though. I was still a little bit tired. We had our prom last Friday, and yeah, it was fun. But the problem with it at first was that I couldn't find a date to go to the prom, and I wanted to go with a couple of my friends. You know, they all had dates. So the idea was my best friend Devin, and then I was going with his girlfriend Brittany, and then with Josh, you know, the guy holding the camera right there. But, anyways. Devin, you know, started coming back around, and, you know, he still knew that I didn't have a date. He started making fun of me for it. So he's going there and he's like, wait a minute, Ken, you still don't have a date, do you? I'm like, no, I don't have a date. So he was like, so you're like going third wheel? And I'm like, in the back of my head, I'm thinking, no, I am not going third wheel. This whole thing was my idea. So I'm not going with you guys. I am not your third wheel. You guys are the training wheels on my unicycle. You got it? Yeah. You know, it's hard to be assertive and funny at the same time, you know? It's the best I could come up with. So then it got out to the issue that I had to find a suit to wear. So we got to S&K, you know, it's this little suit and tux place in town. So I went over there and I'm looking through this big magazine. They've got a suit. It's literally like this thick. And I'm searching through there trying to find a suit that I like. And you know, a lot of these really didn't look very good. At least they looked good on the guys there, but I didn't think they'd look good on me. Until I narrowed it down to two suits. The first one was like built to be really small, because there's not even any buttons at the front of it, just the vest that goes over. And I thought that one might look good, but I'm still a little iffy on it. The other one I found is, I don't know why, but there was a zoot suit in this magazine. Now, for those of you who do not know what a zoot suit looks like, it is probably the weirdest formal wear suit you would ever find. It's got like black and white spats, a tuxedo that's black with white stripes going down it, and going down the pants. It is really weird material, and it just doesn't look, you know, it's not something you'd actually wear to a normal place when you think about it. And, you know, I'm debating between these two suits. You know, what do I want to do? Do I want to look formal, or do I want to, you know, wear something my friends are going to like? You know, do I want to, you know, look romantic, or do I want to look like something that just came out of the 80s? Who do I dress up as, Michael Bolton or Michael Jackson? I couldn't make a decision. So, eventually I actually ended up going with the zoot suit. But I was hoping that at that point all of my prom troubles would be over. But apparently I was wrong, because I had a tardy detention from the last week that I had to get rid of just because I didn't show up to class 7 times. But, you know, other than that, the problem was I figured, you know, I could take the detention on Wednesday so I wouldn't have to deal with that on prom, because I didn't want to go to detention on prom day, you know? So I run into detention on Wednesday, and I get in there, and I am not kidding, they wouldn't let me in because I was the last one there, and they had too many people there, so they wouldn't let me take my detention. So you can imagine how ticked it was at this point. I was late to my tardy detention. It doesn't get more embarrassing than that. You know, so I had to go to detention on prom day, which, you know, I wasn't really that pleased about, because, you know, people remember their proms for like forever. I didn't want to remember it for going to detention. But, you know, I finally got past that. But the weird thing was that day, you know, obviously since we had our prom on a Friday, we had a lot of the girls that didn't show up because they're getting their hair done and whatever. So most of the junior and senior classes were all missing. But this was the weird thing, is missing from the school that day was almost every junior, senior girl in the school, but then 5 male teachers. And we were laughing our heads off about this thing, you know. We get to our first class, hey, where's Mr. Fix? And we're all like, he's getting his hair done. You know, it was just quite funny, because when you think about it, and all 5 of the male teachers that were there, they're either very short-haired or they are bald. So we're trying to think of some reason they're all not here, and we had a lot of fun with it. But, you know, prom ended up great, and, you know, school dances at our school, they're pretty much like going to concerts, you know. You're sweating like crazy, it's hot out, and no matter how much you get pushed around, you always have a lot of people accidentally touching your butt, and it's kind of annoying. But other than that, it was a pretty fun time. So, and then, you know, we had our prom at the museum. So, you know, they had the big carousel in there. It's kind of a weird experience when you see like 20 high school students all getting really giddy over a carousel. I don't know how they even fit on there. It was quite a funny sight. Even the teachers were getting up on the carousel. And the other thing is that I had a friend of mine who was also, you know, one of the guys that went to prom stag. And, you know, he's making fun of me when we were there because I didn't have a date. He's like, hey, dude, let's just pick up some chicks while we're here. And I'm like, yeah. Like, I'm going to spend my entire prom experience trying to pick up chicks. And then I look down at my suit and I'm like, well, that would be why he was thinking that. But anyways, you know, but the dance was really fun. But I think the reason was, like, I like going to dances so much is I really like music. You know, music is always something I've really had a passion for. But the thing is there's always certain things with music you don't really understand that much. Like, one of the things I never understood is I never understood the band Nirvana. Now the thing is, not only did I not understand the band, but no one could ever understand their lyrics because no one can ever understand what he's saying. Which is most of the problem. Because honestly, what I'm waiting for is I want them to put the song Smells Like Teen Spirit into Rock Band. And the reason why is not because I like that song, because I hate that song more than anything, but just to see if I can stuff like 15 cotton balls in my mouth and see if I can still pass singing the song. So you imagine I'd have to and I'd probably still get about 99% of it right. But anyways, one of the other songs that I've just recently got an addiction for is I love the song American Pie by Don McLean. But the problem with that song is, thanks to Weird Al, no one understands how great that song is, because every time anybody starts singing it, everyone starts singing the Weird Al version. I don't even know how we came up with the idea for that. Hey, it's a song about rock music in the 70s. What should we write it about? How about Star Wars? Like, where did they get that connection from? Because you could not sing that song with everyone jumping into the other version. Like, I could go, this can be the day that I die, but do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. And I get over the interlude, and all of a sudden you get a whole bunch of people, did you know this tongue got slave? You know, they all start singing the other version. But, you know, the reason I like that song so much is so much of the stuff, like the metaphors that he uses in that song, really pertain to stuff now. And I think the one verse of that song that makes sense more than anything else he says is when he says, and moss will grow on the rolling stone. Because those guys are still going now. You know, these guys are like 40, 50 years into their music, you know, the band the Rolling Stones. And I've never really understood why these guys haven't retired yet. Because I was down in Alabama, and I saw this poster for this local movie they had down there called The Rolling Stones Still Stands. And it was this documentary about Mick Jagger's life. It only got like 1.5 stars out of 5. And you only can imagine, because in his late years, I don't see how he even performs. Like, is he just going up there with a walker, he's like, I've seen the light and now I want to paint it black. You know, it's like, you know. Or like the other guys in the band, I don't even know how they're still going. But the thing is you look back at the history of Mick Jagger, and like, you figure out that these guys have been arrested for almost everything you can think of. So you start to wonder, when these guys go to prison for that stuff, if people actually recognize them when they're in prison. You know how awkward that would be? You know, you just get locked up for like the 50th time, and so the guys got in there, hey, aren't you that one guy from TV? Yeah, I saw your concert way back. You know, these guys like never leave them alone. You know, just all these little things that you think of that just, you know, throw everything off. But, you know, I've noticed, you know, with a lot of movies and stuff, that if you want to sound great in a movie, one of the things that you have to do is you have to have an accent. I don't know why, but it seems anybody who has an accent that's in a movie ends up like the most awesome role ever. But the problem is sometimes you can use the right accent at the wrong time. So I put together for you guys a little presentation I like to call Good Accents Gone Bad. Hello, my name is Luke Skywalker. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Now I know what you're thinking, sir. Did I shoot the 7 shots or 6? But frankly, in all this confusion, I forgot myself. So only have to ask yourself for one question. Do you feel lucky? Do you feel lucky, sir? Right, mine. Jolly good to see you today. The name's Bond. James Bond. Or my personal favorite. Oh, madness, you say? Well, this be Sparta, don't you know?